Hello, I'm Jacob and you are watching the Prepper's Bunker Outdoors. Today we are going to go over my fighting rifle build here. But I have to clarify first and foremost that this is showing you what I've done. I am going to explain to you why I've built it the way that I have, or assembled it, I should say, and give you some advice and hints on your own build that are based on experience. But until certain parts of this rifle have been through a lot of training and a lot more rounds, this is not necessarily a video where I give you recommendations on, or not necessarily a video where I'm recommending you buy exactly what I bought. So we'll get to that in just a second. Before we get to that, this channel is made possible through my website, beachandtactical.com, where I make the speed sling and other survival gear, finest rifle slings on the planet. I also have a Patreon and an Amazon store, although the Patreon is currently up in the air because they're deciding to be commies. So let's take a look at this rifle, what parts I've put into it, and why. So basically, here's what we got. This is a Bear Creek upper on a Tennessee Arms lower. So this is a Lancer mag. We have Midwest Industries sling swivels front and rear. This is on a Grover M-Lock adapter here. DPMS, ATAX, Blem, A2 grip that I got off Brownells. There's actually an Anderson Manufacturing buttstock that is super cheap, 15 bucks. And what's crazy about it is, as far as I can tell, it is the cheapest stock on the market to have a QD slot here. That is a huge bonus, especially at the price. So before we get any further, for all the safety Nazis here, the mag is fully loaded and there is a round in the chamber because we're all about safety. All right, so the first things that you'll notice, this is a SIG Romeo 5 red dot. This is a Arms number 71 rear sight and a Magpul MOE forend. So we're going to break down this rifle in just a moment and talk about what's on the inside. But before we do that, let's talk about why I made the decisions that I made here. The Anderson buttstock. Everybody wants a cool looking buttstock. They're willing to pay good money for it. At the end of the day, it's a waste of cash. Do you have something sitting back here that you can put up to your shoulder that you can mount a sling to? If the answer is yes, you're probably good to go. And I'm giving my opinions on different items based on cost. So if you have no budget, then some of the things that I say are not going to pertain to you. But I see a lot of people, what they do is they spend a lot of money on stuff that they don't need, and they skimp on the stuff that they do need. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about. So the buttstock. Don't spend big cash. If you've got the normal mil-spec buttstock and you don't have a way to mount a sling like this and you want to, you can get adapters that fit right in here that put a socket back here. And honestly, this is a better spot to have a sling swivel hole anyways. Grips. You know, everybody wants to ditch their original grips because they want to modify their gun because they want it to look cool. Nobody cares. These are $3. Trust me. Your fancy grip is not going to matter, and more importantly, people are putting the gunfighter shaped pistol grip, which is at a more vertical angle here, onto their rifles, and it ruins the geometry of the rifle. So people don't really think about what's going to work well. They know that there's a new style of grip, it's a little more expensive, it looks cool, boom, they buy it, they throw it on here. And they may never even realize that with the standard angled grip, they would have been better off. That grip was designed for a pistol. Magazines, Lancer. I'm going to buy Lancer mags, Magpul, or I'm probably going to pick up some OK Industries mags. The magazine magazines are so cheap right now, and they are the heart of your rifle. Do not skimp on mags, because you can have the highest dollar, best AR in the entire world. It can literally be perfect, which this is not. This is bare bones cheap. But it can be perfect, and if you put garbage mags into it, it will not run. So if you spend your money somewhere, it should probably be good quality mags. Lucky for you, when I was growing up, good quality mags were like 30 to 35 bucks. Now, even the best mags are like under $15. All right, I swapped the normal round black handguards to the Magpul MOE because I could, because I like it, because it's comfortable, and because I hate the normal black round handguards. It was not a necessary upgrade though. And one thing that I want you to think about is the entire time that you are potentially blinging out your rifle, the thing is still a 22 caliber rifle shooting most likely 55 to 62 grain bullets. So if you make it heavy with quad rails so that you can load up accessories that you don't need on it, all you're doing is killing yourself before you even get to the fight. Because I know that you're probably not training with it by walking miles with it like you should be. I'm not either at the moment, but when you do, if you can't get to the fight, all that whiz-bang stuff that you have does not matter. All right, sights. Very important. I got a model with the standard front sight post. I like it. I used it in the military. It might not have been the best decision, because the downside of it is when you're looking through your red dot or whatever optic you have, it's taking up some of your field of view. So if you have a moving target that's trying to kill you and you're trying to kill it first, then this might get in your way of aiming or of seeing what's going on. You may notice I put a KNS front sight post on there, oranged it up. I just like doing that. I feel like a front sight post is something that should be one of the few things that everybody accessorizes to be what they really like, and it's the one thing that nobody even touches. Moving on back, the SIG Romeo 5 red dot. It has a infinite, I just talked to SIG about this because I had to clarify, infinite lifetime guarantee. Let me put something up here. Something, whatever. The lighting sucks, I'm sorry. Infinite guarantee on the optic. It's like 120 bucks to 130 bucks. It's got a 5-year warranty on the electronics. So here's what I'm thinking. If any of the glass breaks or it leaks or it gets dented or broken, they will replace it for the life of the optic. But if the electronics stop working after 5 years, then they will repair it or discount you and get you a new one after a 5-year period. So it seems to me like after 5 years, if your electronics stop working, you should just smash the optic to get the infinite life warranty. I don't know why they had to do both. It seems counterproductive to me. Either you do an infinite warranty forever, or you don't. I digress. The SIG Romeo 5 has a fairly excellent track record as a red dot at the moment, as do Primary Arms and Hollow Sun and Vortex. And they're all in the low $100 range. These lightweight red dots are making the cheap bullcrap optics of yesterday 100% obsolete. So with the smallest amount of education that you can gain just from a simple video like this, you can never make the stupid decision of a low quality inferior optic because you're on a budget. Any of that NC Star, or there are a few other brands, don't screw around with it. You know, it used to be when I was looking at ARs, if you want a combat red dot, you got a Trigicon, or you got an Aimpoint, or you got an EOTech, and you're gonna expect to spend at least $1,000. And if it wasn't that, then it wasn't enough. These are made by Hollow Sun, and it's in China, and it seems like Hollow Sun is pushing the bar so far for budget optics that it's really a game changer. All right, Backup iron sights. This is the Arms number 71, kind of a Magpul, I wouldn't say knockoff, but you know, Magpul kind of revolutionized the game on backup iron sights. Most people, military or private, are at the point where they are saying that backup iron sights are obsolete, unnecessary, don't even put it on there, don't zero it. When I was in the military on deployment, they wouldn't let me zero my iron sights. I think that as a prepper and as a citizen and as a patriot, iron sights are of the utmost importance. And get good ones. Do I recommend these Arms? Not really, because there's just too much play in the up position. Hopefully you can see that. I do not like that at all. With that being said, from shooting them from the very get-go, they were on the money. They shot great. That's better than I can say for some other sights, so I'm keeping it. I don't know if I'll buy it again. We'll find out. They are a good price. Obviously here, this gun is green. It did not come to me green. This lower receiver was Coyote Tan. This handguard was Coyote Tan. I painted the whole gun Coyote Tan and then OD green, hoping to get a bit of variety in natural reactive camouflage between OD green and camo tan. You can see it popping up a little bit here. As this thing gets beat to piss, it will look better. And let's talk about, real quick before we get into the rifle, about the Tennessee Arms lower. This is a glass-filled nylon lower that is brass reinforced. I've been using this on a 22 long rifle build for a long time, and I have a few of these. Am I happy with them? Not entirely. We will see how they hold up through abuse and through a few classes. Tactical response kills firearms. It's just how it works, and I'm glad that it does. You find out what really works. And so if this makes it through some classes, the first class I'm going to take is 1,500 rounds. I'm going to have a lot more confidence. They do have a lifetime guarantee, and I am willing to give them this shot. I am not recommending that you do so on your budget build because aluminum lowers are so affordable, unless it makes it through with flying colors. But as of right now, I'm not here to tell you to go buy this. Safety has a lot of wobble. And yes, we are on a live round. This is something that seems to be fairly common that I've seen in poly lowers, including like the ATI. And does it bother me? Yes. If it continues to work, will it be a problem? No, I still have my solid detent back and forth. It still works the same, it just irritates me. The pins as well tend to want to kind of rotate a little bit, and they're kind of a pain in the butt, but whatever. We will see how that all holds up. All right, I'm gonna do a video pretty soon about charging handles. Basically, in my opinion, any charging handle other than the standard one is dumb. Because if you ever need this rifle, you're going to spend 99.999% of your time carrying it, and basically none of your time shooting it when it comes to a real situation. And the big charging handles and stuff, when you're carrying this up against your body, are just going to be getting in the way of crap. It's so dumb. And really, by the end of this video, I'm going to talk about the basics and where to focus your money, but things like grips, buttstocks, and charging handles are not where you should be focusing your dollar bills. All right, lower parts kit, if memory serves, is just a standard lower parts kit, probably from DPMS or something similar. Let's see. Again, don't be upgrading and blinging out your rifle until you have training. So this lower parts kit here, I might as well just take this all the way apart. I don't know why I'm playing games. All right. This is annoying, I tell you what. This, like I said, it wants to twist a little bit out of this lower, so it just is a pain in the butt, and it always has been, even before it was painted. All right, so Normal lower parts kit up in here. This is actually a DPMS 2-stage trigger, which I have been incredibly impressed with. It's probably had over 2,000 cycles on it, and I've had no issues with it. I don't know with a trigger if it matters whether you're shooting 22 long rifle or 308. I don't imagine that it does, but this is the same trigger that's in my 308, and it's been very solid. But I do not recommend for you budget folks to go buy a fancy trigger. Train with the standard mil-spec trigger, same as the military, until you're good with it. And if you've been training with it for thousands of rounds and you decide you want to upgrade it later, then do it. You're literally wasting your money before you even know if you have an accuracy issue, which you are not going to have caused by the trigger, by putting a fancy trigger in here. Because this is not a bench rest gun. This is a lightweight fighting gun. So what might make a difference at 1,000 yards is not gonna matter at 100 to 300 yards. So don't waste your money on silliness. Just get a mil-spec trigger group. All right, and here, again, we're gonna talk about money. We have the Bear Creek Arsenal bolt and bolt carrier group. The bolt carrier group, this is what came in the gun. The bolt carrier group is nitride coated. You don't need to ever upgrade this unless the gas key comes loose. I'll talk about that in a second. But people who don't have enough ammo or training or this or that or the other want to go buy a bolt carrier group because there's so many options on the market and everything looks so bling and cool. But I'm here to tell you that 90% of it is absolutely and entirely unnecessary. This bolt from is also Bear Creek Arsenal, magnetic particle inspected. It is, as far according to their stuff, it looks like it's nitride to me, but according to their website, it is phosphate coated. Well, if this bolt is phosphate coated without the chrome at the end of the bolt, that's a little bit of a bummer, but it should be forgivable. It's just going to mean a little bit of extra cleaning. We will see. So if you have a fighting gun, what's going to fail is your firing pin or your bolt. Buy an extra firing pin, buy an extra bolt, keep them in your grip or with your gun, and do not upgrade them until it's needed because you broke something. Stop upgrading needlessly. So that's going to be basically the whole moral of this story. If you are a patriot who's looking into getting your first AR and you don't know exactly what you're buying, there are so many people out there with a budget AR like this Bear Creek Arsenal, right? Which may be of acceptable quality or it may not. We'll find out. But buying ammo and other stuff is not fun. So they buy all of this fun gizmo gadgety bullcrap and waste their money and don't have enough money for ammo and don't have enough money for training. And then they've got all of these accessories all over the place and they'll tell you, yeah, you know, I got a $400 AR and I've got about $500 into it. And they've got all kinds of stuff all over it. And they have plans for upgrading the trigger and upgrading the bolt carrier group. If you're running a cheap AR, get ammo for it, go out and train with it, and then upgrade things as they break or as you see fit. Because if you don't know what you're looking at and you don't know what you're buying, you'll end up needlessly spending money that could have been better spent elsewhere. So that's pretty much the whole theme of this video that what I hope you take out of this is what do I recommend? You're looking for an absolute budget AR. Well, if you get yourself a budget upper, which right now I don't advise for or against, it would likely be a safer bet to get a Smith & Wesson. Ruger's kind of had a bad reputation, but they do have a nice barrel that comes with it. Get a Colt. You know, they're not that expensive. But if you're going to go budget, But and I would say get an aluminum lower. because you're not taking a risk with an aluminum lower. It doesn't matter if it's Anderson, really, or PSA, or Bear Creek Arsenal. You can buy this whole gun complete, I believe, for around 400 bucks. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Heck, I don't care if you go buy an ATI Omni Hybrid Max, which I actually want to do for review purposes. It's only 350 bucks out the door for the whole gun. When you start spending your money, spend your money on ammo and training, make sure the gun runs right, and if it doesn't, either get the manufacturer to fix it or upgrade parts where necessary. If your BCG, the gas key, comes loose, you don't need to buy another BCG. Take it to a gunsmith or do it yourself, buy a new gas key, bolt it down, watch a YouTube video, and stake it yourself unless it's destroyed. The thing that's going to get damaged is your bolt. Have an extra one. Buy a doggone mil-spec bolt from Brownells for 40 bucks and a doggone firing pin for a couple bucks, and have it laying around, because that's probably going to be what's tearing up. But really, the rest of the gun, it really is probably going to come down to tuning, which can be fixed with a YouTube video. So getting the motivation to learn the weapon system, to build it yourself, to run it, is going to pay off in the long run. I'm not suggesting that everybody go and buy bottom of the barrel like I did. We're going to test the dog crap out of this and see if it's worth a dang. But spend your money where it's important. You know, that 3 times magnifier that flips over to the side, you don't need it. It looks cool. We've seen it on TV. You don't need it. And more than likely, the weight of it, you need to not have it. Oh, a thing to not do, don't mount optics on your rail. I need to just do a video on things not to do. I'll do that another time. If you're looking the budget route, just to reiterate, spend your money on good quality magazines and on ammo. Get yourself a red dot. It is absolutely a force multiplier. Make sure you have decent backup iron sights and go shoot the thing, and stop worrying about what's really cool. You can worry about that later down the road. So there you have it. This video was way long and probably really boring, but if you're into this stuff, I hope that it helped you. Let me know what you think in the comments section below, and I hope that you have